We're here today with Scott Kelly, candidate for mayor of North Canton. Mr. Kelly, what gave you the idea of running for mayor of North Canton?
Well, I've always wanted to run for North Canton, a lifelong resident. It's something I've always wanted to do. I worked for the city for 16 years, and the charter says that if you're a full-time employee, you can't run for elected office in the city. And now that I no longer work for the city, I felt now is the time to run.
Okay, now we talked a little bit on the telephone before today, and you shared with me on that occasion that you were a victim of an economy move in North Canton government. Is that correct?
Yes.
You want to spell that out a little bit for us?
I was laid off from the fire department due to a $700,000 financial shortfall the city says they were going to be in.
And what year was that?
2013.
Okay.
And so they gave me the option of a layoff or moving to the water plant. So obviously having a family and a mortgage, I went to the water plant.
Okay, and so then you eventually left North Canton employment?
Yes.
When was that?
I left in April of 2015.
Okay. And now I understand that you're working at the fire department in Plain Township?
Yep.
Okay. But while you were in North Canton, you were head of the fire union, is that correct?
Yes, I was.
All right. And but it's kind of interesting. One thinks that a person who has a union history has union support, but in this particular instance, you don't.
Correct.
So what is your political base going forward? You don't have union support. Do you have a political party affiliation that you're relying on?
Not in this election. I'm running as a nonpartisan.
Okay.
I am a registered Democrat, but I decided since North Canton is a nonpartisan city, I decided to choose nonpartisan. Frankly, I'm just not happy with either party. So I decided to run as nonpartisan, which I found going door to door is not a bad thing.
You're finding that you're getting positive reaction?
I'm getting positive feedback from saying that I'm nonpartisan.
What's your typical interaction with a North Canton citizen that answers the door when you're out doing door to door?
Some will talk. Like last night, I spent half hour on somebody's porch talking about the city. Sometimes it's just handing them information and they're shaking my hand and wishing me good luck. But most of the time, I usually sit and talk for about a half hour, and it's a good thing I have volunteers that go out with me because they got to pick up the slack as I sit there and talk. Because really, the citizens of North Canton they want to be heard, and I don't think they're being heard by the mayor or their council members.
Okay. So you do have a volunteer force working with you?
We have 45 volunteers.
45?
45 volunteers.
Where are they coming from?
It's been amazing. As soon as I filed my paperwork with the Board of Elections and they posted all that information on their website, it was amazing how fast people got a hold of me, thanked me for running, and what can we do to help? And so we've kind of taken that and said, well, here's your chance to help. We need to get the word out.
Well, how about financial resources? There are some expenses connected with running for office. Are you able to raise money to take care of your expenses?
That was going to be a hard part because I don't like asking people for money, and I'm sure most people will tell you that when they're running for office, that's probably the hardest part. But I tell you what, we have some amazing support, and we have more than enough money to cover our signs and printing costs, because that's really what we're doing. We're going to work on a mailer and our signs, and we have enough money to cover all that.
Okay. Any idea at this point how many mailers you're going to be sending out?
Right now we're looking at about, I think, 800, because we have some gated communities, some areas that are no soliciting. that we can't just go knock on their doors. So between that, we have some apartment complexes that have voters that are, secured facility, same way with our nursing homes, so we just thought it best, we'll send them a mailer.
Okay. Well, why are voters you're contacting enthusiastic about Scott Kelly?
Well, I think most part is they don't think the city has gone anywhere.
Since David Held's been mayor, is that?
And yes, since he's been mayor, a lot of people are saying that the city is just there.
So he's been mayor, what, 11 years?
12 years.
12 years, okay.
Yeah, and that seems to be, what the sticky. They're just like, we're just here. We haven't. Some people tell me that we've gone backwards, but I think the majority of people just say that we're there.
You're stagnant. Would that be
That would be
an
a great
appropriate
term.
word?
Yes, we're just stagnant, and he's been in 12 years, and maybe it's time for new ideas, and that's what I'm promoting.